Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about my latest book, Sidney Poitier, The Measure of a Man. Now this is listed as a spiritual autobiography, and it is in many regards an autobiography, but he only covers the points in his life that he feels were important to his development, to his evolution of his philosophical and spiritual view of the world. So you get some gaps in there. He doesn't even talk about getting married. It just jumps ahead one time. He mentions it, and then the next, there's my second child was in the way, and you didn't know he had a first child. So if you're looking for an autobiography of this man, this isn't it. I believe there are a number of them out there. I haven't read them. I got this book specifically because it was written by him, and I've always respected him as an actor. So I thought I could pick it up for 99 cents. I'd give it a read. And it was an Oprah Book Club book, which actually doesn't mean much to me. But there were two chapters in this book that kind of bothered me. First chapter, and I think it was the second to the last chapter. And both of these chapters suffer from what I like to call the Golden Era Syndrome. And that is the belief that at some time in the past, or some location in the past or present, is somehow better than a big city, or better than the time that we're in now. You can see this in a lot of the conservative political stances today, where somehow coming from a small American town makes you more genuinely American than if you're from one of the coasts in a big city. Somehow being from a big city doesn't make you quite as red, white, and blue as being from some little town like Cornhusk, Nebraska. That somehow is a more genuine type of American. Or people who think that in the past, say the 1950s or 60s, when their childhood was better than now. And that's a falsehood. Whenever people do that, it's because they're forgetting the bad things. They're glossing over the things, or they're glossing over the fact that it was good for them and it really wasn't good for everyone that wasn't in their social class. It wasn't good if you were poor, or you were a minority, or a woman, or you weren't Christian, or what have you. But their memory is so clear that they always want to refer to that. So those two chapters kind of bugged me. But overall, the book wasn't horrible. And I know that doesn't sound like much praise, because frankly I wasn't thrilled with this book. I'm never going to read it again. I'm going to donate it. I can't recommend this book. It does cover the man's evolution spiritually and philosophically, but he never goes into a lot of depth. The story along the way is told in a very conversational manner. It almost has a certain tone, like the kind of thing you might hear at a party or something. There isn't a connection with the reader, I didn't feel. I never felt there was a point where he was speaking directly to me in any meaningful way. So, I understand the man's point. I wish he had achieved it more effectively. I don't regret reading this. He does turn a nice phrase. I can kind of hear his voice in this. Physically, I can kind of hear him reading this. And in fact, it's available as an audiobook read by him, and that might be interesting in and of itself. He does have a great voice. He has some great diction. But this book is not the best I've ever read. I will probably forget most of it in a very short order, because I will find things that are far more interesting. Have a good one.